Starting with Shaletsky. Now with Shaletsky you have two moves, Slash and Fried Chicken. You can use a Slash to stun the killer for a short period of time. Look at this. It's weak when you're low on HP or stamina and need a break to catch up.
Too slow!
Or if you need time for a support character to get to you and heal you. Or just to stop the killer from hurting others. Pretty cool. Now for Elliot, a support character. Now for Elliot, if your teammates, survivalists, Sentials, people who stun the killer or anyone are low on HP, you will just see a yellow aura around them and you can run to them. When you first spawn in the round, you get Rush Hour. Normally you need to give people pizza to get Rush Hour, but when you spawn in, you already get a free Rush Hour for yourself, and you can use that to get to survivors, or just simply escape the killer. Now that your Rush Hour is explained, you have your throw pizza move, whatever it is. Now that can heal people. Doing generators, which are just these mini puzzles around the map, each map that you spawn in, will help your pizzas to just heal more. So instead of giving a survivor pizza like this, that's kind of a waste because they probably will barely heal at all. The more you do generators, the less pizza you have to feed the survivors, because one should do them quite well. I recommend giving pizzas to Sentials, people who can stun the killer like Guest, which we'll look into later, Shaletsky and other people, as they can stop the killer in their tracks and help when people escape.
Nom nom nom. Nom nom nom. Nom 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 nom.
Now Builderman. Also a support, but healing takes quite a bit of time. Builderman can place sentries anywhere he wants on the map, but it's best if we do it around looping areas like here. Come on, he's about to die. There's no way.
You're too slow! You're too slow!
That's a good looping spot you can place a sentry. Just places where survivors will usually run into, like this. And this. And this. All of them really annoy the killer, they're unexpected, and they help the survivors get away. Sentries, as you can probably see, slow the killer down and do a bit of damage. Now dispensers on the other hand, it's best if we place those in the hidden spots in the map. Now survivors can run over there and heal. Now if a bunch of the survivors are all healing in a single dispenser, that will be bad, because if the killer uses their minions, unstable eye or anything to find them, then you're all pretty much going to die. So it's best if one survivor heals first while the Sentials are interrupting the killer and distracting him. Now Two Time. Two Time is a pretty much Rubik's character who believes in the spawn. He believes that if he can satisfy the spawn gods that isn't really real, then he'll be able to unlock his second life. Now he did end up killing his friend Azure in the lore of the story, just to get the second life. Well, he didn't really get it, the Spectre ended up giving it to him, so yeah. Anyways, Two Time has a dagger. Now just like any other Sential, it's easiest with Two Time to stun the killer right as they're about to use a move. Like look at Corkin about to use his Warp Speed Override. Look at this. Just like that. Easy. For any move basically. Even a slash, but I don't really think you should waste your stab on using a slash, as you can easily avoid that. But like moves like Warp Speed Override, Corrupt Energy, Mass Infection, all those moves can be stopped by Two Times dagger. Like take a look at some more examples of it. And this. Pretty cool, isn't it? And plus, if you use Two Times second move, which is crouch, you can just hide and stab the killer whenever you want. Two Times third move, Ritual, is a move where he just stabs his knife in the ground a little bit and places the spawn logo on the floor. It's best if he hides that in the map, because the killer, when Two Times respawns, can easily find him and kill him, because he's quite weak when he dies and he respawns. To get Two Times second life, He has to backstab or stab the killer enough times to fill up his bar before he can respawn. Backstabs fill up the bar a lot more than normal stabs, so try and hit those more, because you will help the team quite a bit by doing that. If you crouch and use your dagger right after, you get a nice lunge, which is further range for your stab, which is also quite good. Always remember, if you don't place a ritual, no matter how many times you stab, you will not enter your second life. You have to place a ritual at all times, otherwise you won't respawn. However, if you do make it to LMS, even without getting your second life, even if you do make it to Last Man Standing, you will still have you will get a nice little buff that boosts your health to 110, depending on how low you are. And yeah, you have a bit of weakness to start off with, then you get better, and then you can just play. However, you can't unlock your second life during Last Man Standing because it forces you into your second life. But instead of being quite weak like usual, if you died and unlocked your second life, you get a nice little buff, like I mentioned earlier, which is quite nice. Now another one, N7, not really much to talk about him. All he can use is survivalist basically, so he can just use his clones to trick the killer, call GUI to teleport away if he's hidden, and inject, which changes how his clone moves. If you're good with him, you can trick the killer, which is quite nice. I have a video on that, so you can go watch it if you want. Noob. Noob is one of the characters you get for free in the game, along with Elliot and Shiletsky. He has 3 moves: Bloxy Cola, Slate Skin, and Ghost Burger. His Bloxy Cola can be used if he drinks it. It grants him speed 1 for 10 seconds, where he gets a short little speed boost. The same speed boost that John Doe gets if he gets stabbed or stunned when he's using Peripheral Arrow, or the same speed boost 1x gets when he uses Unstable Eye, etc. But it's for 10 seconds this time, not 5 seconds. And you can use that to escape the killer safely, but it's quite dumb if you use it right in front of the killer, because they can easily just gashing wound you, or if you override you, or just hit you anyway. His second move is Slate Skin. This tanks out all the damage Noob takes. Like if you're quite low on HP of Noob, if you were to use your Slate Skin, the killer can hit you as much times as they want. They will not damage you at all for a period of time, I think 5 seconds. You can turn off Slate Skin whenever you want to try and trick the killer and get out of their sight, which is also quite cool. It's a tanker. Noob's last move, Ghost Burger, is in the name. It's a Ghost Burger. Remember, Ghost Burger does not make you completely invisible. The killer can still see you. It's just quite difficult. So I recommend using it right as you loot the killer, right as you get to the sentry, so whilst destroying it. Example, stuff like that. So yeah, that's Noob done. Remember, Ghost Burger does not make you completely invisible. The killer can still see you. It's just quite difficult. So I recommend using it right as you loot the killer, right as you get to the sentry, so whilst destroying it, well, stuff like that. So yeah, that's Noob done. Okay, now for Guest. Guest is an army veteran who fights, so pretty much that's what he is. He has 3 moves, one of which being block. As you can probably tell, it's block. He just blocks. He can block the killer's move, but the only thing he pretty much can't block is a projectile, like for example, Corrupt Nature or Noli's Nova Star. Now, in some occasions you can block Cool Kid's Corrupt Nature, but it will not give you a punch. Noli's Nova, I don't think you can. Now, if you land a successful block where you block and the killer punches you or uses like a move on you, Mass Infection also counts, but you will take some damage. But yeah, once you get a successful block, you get your punch, which is your last move. Now, you can either choose to punch right as you get your block, which gives you a parry and stuns the killer for quite a while, or you can save your punch for later on if you need it. Now, if you decide to save your punch, you have your punch ready. If you manage to hit your punch, the killer will get stunned for a couple seconds, depends how much sentinels are in the round. If you punch right after you get a block, it's a parry, you get more XP, and the killer's stunned for a lot longer. But I don't recommend parrying every time, because there's some chances you just won't get a parry and you end up getting punished, like dashing wounded or warp speed overrided, and that isn't quite nice. Now Guest's second move is charge, and that's pretty much what it is. He just charges at the killer. That's it. Now all I have to say is never use your charge at the back of the killer when they're chasing someone. that is just going to, even though it will stop the killer from using a move for a couple seconds, that will boost them closer to the survivor and they can easily kill them. It will help in most scenarios. It will help the killer. Do not do it. Now, you can use your charge to knock killers off high ground, which throws them back down. It's best to use it when you get stunned, so they can't get back up immediately, which is quite good. If you let you stun them, you can charge them away, etc, etc. Guess spawns in with 115 HP, meaning he's the strongest survivor in the game, like to spawn default with. Now Guess spawns in with 115 HP, meaning he spawns in with the most HP than any other survivor does. Chance can also spawn in quite a high HP, but I don't think it can go higher than 100, but if you rerolls you can get 130 and stuff. Alright, now for last survivor for this video at least. I can make a part 2 if you guys want. I might as well, because why not? He is also a support. He has his magical shield that can pretty much shield any survivor that he wishes to shield, which is also quite nice because it's like Slate Skin, but instead of not taking any damage at all, it pretty much takes out a lot of it. Also, the second Drinker Bloxy Cola, he can run ahead of you and then shield the survivor before you get there, which is also quite helpful. Now, the second doesn't really run. I don't know why I said run, but like sprint. He levitates, meaning that you can't hear his footsteps wherever he goes, unlike the other survivors, so he's quite undetectable. Dusaka's second move and last move is Plasma Beam. If he uses it on the survivor, they will get speed 1 for 5 seconds, I think. If they use it on the killer, slowness 1 for, I think slowness 1 or 2 for 5 seconds, I think it's slowness 2 for a couple seconds. Which is quite good because you can slow the killer down and boost the survivor if you want. If you're lucky enough, you can hit 2 people at once, slowing a killer down and speeding a survivor up, which is quite nice. That's Duseka done for you. Now Duseka's a support, so you might want to keep him alive for as long as you can, because now Duseka's a support, so you might want to keep him alive as long as you can, just like Elliot and any other support, or just people you have, because Duseka can't really defend himself like Guest and other people. I will dig deeper into the other survivors in the next video, but for now that's pretty much it.
Nom nom nom. Nom nom nom.
You're too slow.